Can you see me? Let's see. All right, hi, welcome. I'm Gabby Freeman, and this is my first vlog. If you are in your late 20s, early 30s, that's where I'm at right now in my life. And what I'm finding is I'm looking around like, oh my gosh, I'm so far from the things that I used to love. Where am I? Like, what am I doing here? And so what I'm trying to do is commit to myself and slowly bring back parts of me instead of just like dreaming things up, really executing. So I've done a few things this week I'm really excited about, but to start, I want to kick it off with my vlog for my studio walkthrough. I found a really cool piece that was 25 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. It was from the 1930s. Somebody hand built it, and it was just so charming to me. Bright red, chippy paint. And so we started there, and it actually, just that, it was like, okay, this is 25 bucks. That is inspiring enough for me to want to pole vault myself into a beautiful art studio space so that I can craft. And just a little like kind of what I've been doing lately. So I'm gonna grab this. This is my journal that I've started, and it's funny, like I'm just like kind of flicking through, creating pieces that I love, things that I think are adorable and charming, and sharing kind of like how I've been doing this. And this has taken off too for me. I really love that. And I think more of that type of commitment to doing something tactile is what we need a little bit more of, because it's so digital. I think the whole point is it's time. I'm doing things that I want to do now. I hope this is going to be fun for you, because it's already fun for me. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clear off this counter space, flow through and get all of this stuff organized in a way that I think looks cute. But first, let me show you the before, because I think it's imperative before you see the after. I had a mint green dresser that I put all my stuff in. I pushed my desk up against the wall so I was looking at a wall. And then there's this built-in, which was a pain to access. And anytime I wanted to grab something, there was always a cat or junk on top of it. So I wanted to have a hutch for items that I can quickly grab and go. And I ended up, you can see, I pivoted my desk so that I'm facing the window now. And this has substantially changed my mood when I'm working in the studio. And I think my next step is that I'm going to get myself a little craft cart so that I can pack up things from my hutch and wheel them out to the back porch, which is where I record lots and lots of my stuff. You can see I'm also working on a little painting in the reflection of that rounded mirror over there. And I like to make sure that I'm looking at the things that I'm working on so they don't go to the back of the mind, because something that I'm absolutely known for is enjoying every single hobby ever and never completing one. So again, that's a part of my goals this year, is to continue forward, make sure things come to a close before starting something new. And this is my little studio. I feel excited about the piece that I actually used. So that antique 1930s beautiful chippy red hutch was perfect for my stuff. And then when I was sitting there looking out the window, I was like, this is beautiful. But something that I've been doing lately, anytime I shower, I need to go get pajamas. My actual dresser for my clothes is currently in my studio. It hasn't been a very good setup, because I'll have to like come in, and especially if it's at nighttime where you can see through windows, if there's light coming out of the house, I like turn off all the lights, and then I hunker down and I go into my studio, and then I grab what I need, hunched over still, just crawl back pretty much wrapped in a towel. And I'm sick of doing that. So I asked my mom, hey, my next dream, other than just like having my own studio, is to have these little French cafe curtains. And she said yes to helping me. And she was like, I'll teach you how to sew. It's not hard. Cutting a square into fabric is the hardest part of it. I'll show you a little bit of that as well. So these are the windows that I was talking about that I definitely need to duck down every time I get out of the shower. And I went ahead and measured these windows that I would need treatment for. And if you're planning on ordering these specific pieces of hardware for your curtains as well, just know that you will need to measure the inside of your window panels, because the hardware doesn't come out like a normal curtain and kind of come away from the wall. Instead, it goes inside the frame. So you're going to be drilling into the wood frame. I'm going to link below all the equipment that I'm using as far as the rods and such, because it's also imperative to know that you can cut down the rods if you need with just a quick tool. Now here's the finished side of the Butler's Pantry. We had ordered 6 curtain panels that came out to be about $48 each, for a total of $240 worth of curtains from Etsy. We also ordered 3 curtain rods for about $50 each. While the curtains are really beautiful quality, I wanted to learn how to make them on my own with my mom, but I can't make brass rods. So here's past me measuring for those rods. This is why I'm so happy about this purchase here, right? Like, look at this beautiful piece of fabric. Oh, I got this with my mom. And this is going on Cherish, like pretty much the same color concept wheel. Like, obviously there are cuteness factors to that, but look at this. I'm sorry. If you're not seeing that and seeing something similar, at least enjoying the same color concept and the design elements. Like, there's more cream on those than this one. I kind of like seeing more green than cream. And this whole bolt was like, I don't know, 15 bucks? Just 1 yard of this stuff on Cherish, $147 a yard. Honestly, I feel like I could sell this for a shit ton of cash, but I'm gonna make my curtains first and then I'm gonna sell the rest, I think. All right, hold on. Things I will do to not get up. Also, I kind of like just let it look laying in the background. All right, so wanted to share that. Perfect. So I need to get 224 smooth rods. For all of these, it's going to come out to about $236 for just the rods. But I am saving big time because I'm going to make my mom teach me how to sew. I wanted to show you, I just got extractions done. I went for my facial because I have been struggling with like clogged pores, and the cool thing about today is that I'm gonna go see my mom, and my mom is, you know, she doesn't consider herself a seamstress, neither does my grandmother, even though both of them can pretty much do anything you ask them to do. Okay, I just made it to my mom's house. I would really love to learn how to do a cafe curtain and a full curtain so that I can go back to my house and continue doing that. Quick tip, if you ever start making YouTube videos, always remember to get an intro and an outro for what you're up to, because I forget always. So I just had to use B-roll of me making a tomato sandwich here because I didn't want to just hard launch me and my mom making curtains together. But anyway, here we are making curtains together. Here's my mom, isn't she so cute? We went ahead and started on the unfinished side of the butler's pantry curtains first. The total length of these curtains are going to be 35 inches. That means that there's two parts to that, the main panel and then the ruffle that goes onto that. And we started with the main panel first. Even though the whole thing collectively will be 35 inches, we actually cut the two main squares to be 35 inches themselves. And this way, we could both hem the top and bottom and leave 4 inches at the top to fold onto itself to create a 2-inch loop for the rod to go through. After we cut those two pieces, we put them on top of one another and then folded onto itself like you see here as we're shaking it out. We squared up the edges one last time and made a final cut with the rotary knife to make sure that they were perfect squares. This made the main panels about 30 inches each once all the hemming was done. We decided to complete those steps first before cutting any length for the ruffles, just in case we measured incorrectly. Next, you're going to want to hem all 4 sides of your panel. And heads up, we turned our 2 curtains into 4 because we found they were clunking up on the rod when we tried to test them. So I didn't catch any footage of my mom actually making that 2-inch loop, but it was already hemmed top and we just looped it over itself for 2 inches, and here's that result. Look how good it looks. And we found that the bottom wasn't perfect, so this is why it was really great that we didn't go ahead and just cut the ruffles, because we evened them out, hemmed them one more time, and then we made this ruffle. Now these ruffles, I about gave up at the ruffles, so my mom really did take lead here. As far as the specs go, we ended up needing a total of about 8 inches in length to make up for the mistakes in the main panel so that we could get to the total length of 35 inches again. So we cut 9.5 inches, and that was because we wanted a bigger hem on the bottom than normal because we wanted to add weight to the bottom. And then we added an extra ½ inch. That way we could really attach the two pieces back together when it came to both the panel and the ruffle. I'm going to zoom in so you can see how she's sewing this for the first few ruffles. Just try to make them as even as possible. You saw how she pinched and folded it up. Whenever she folded it up with that pinch, that little top loop that happens when you layer it on top of itself, what she would do is run 1 stitch up through the top of that loop to anchor it, and then she would, before she did anything else, she would stop, she would pinch, and she would loop it again. Then you can see she pushes it slightly, and 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, okay, at the very top, and then she pinches again and puts it under the foot and gets that anchor going. And that's really it. Just keep doing that over and over. Here you can see where we sandwiched the two pieces pretty side to pretty side on top of itself, so that when you sew, you can see at the end how the nice sides are exposed and the ugly things are behind. We ran both of the sides through the sewing machine one last time to get them all together, and there you have it. We were both really pleased with it. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Isn't that lovely? This is the rod that comes. Taped it, I'm sorry it's blue, but I've taped it because you have to be cognizant of which side goes where. Give you an idea. Okay, this is where I end my vlog this week. Rain has come through and basically crashed all of our azaleas, which is really sad.
but good week. I really appreciate you sticking along. I'm really excited to see where this goes, how I keep myself on track. Thank you for being here. Bye.